I run into people all the time that tell me, "Hey, you're Bishop Ron. I just tell you, I love you. God bless you. Thank you for your bold stand on the right of the life of unborn children. Thank you for speaking out against same-sex marriage and homosexuality. I just love and appreciate your courage." Then they tell me, I go to this large church and I just wish, that's the only thing I wish my pastor would have the courage to speak out like you do. And I think to myself, I don't say it, but now I'm going to finally say it. I think to myself, you do know why he doesn't speak out against those things. He's afraid to lose people like you, and he's afraid to lose other people who will leave his church because they believe in homosexuality and same-sex marriage. They believe in abortion. They believe in these things, and so he doesn't want to cause people to leave the church. So what he decides to do, he calculates. I'm going to remain silent on this. I'm not going to say I'm for it or against it. I'm just going to be quiet because I don't want to lose members. Can I tell you what the answer is? Those pastors are never going to change their mind because they have fear. They're afraid to lose people. But can I tell you, when they're going to finally speak up, when you, who want him to speak up, start voting by leaving the churches with your feet, and you start leaving those churches saying, "Pastor, I love you, I appreciate all that you've done, but you know what? I can't belong to a church where you won't speak out for the right of unborn children to live. You won't speak out against same-sex marriage. You won't enter into these cultural debates. And I need a pastor that has courage." So I love you. God bless you. I'm going to be going to Word of Life Church, Tom Brown, or some other church that's like us that have the courage to speak out. You know what would happen if these big mega pastors started getting an avalanche of people leaving the church because they won't speak out? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to finally have the courage to speak out. You know why? Because of fear. They're still being motivated by fear, and they're going to fear losing people like you. But as long as they keep you in the churches, they're going to stay silent. And that means you who are staying in those churches, you're complicit with their silence. That's what I'm saying. It is time now for you, people like you, to start exiting those big churches where the pastor will not speak out for the life of the most innocent, the life of unborn children. They won't speak out against the undermining of traditional marriage, a marriage between a man and a woman. They won't speak out against same-sex marriage and homosexuality. Friend, it's time now for you to exit those churches. God's calling you to go to churches like ours and other pastors in your area that's saying and speaking the truth. If we don't do this, if you don't do this, then those big churches will continue to be a problem. Their silence will continue to erode the morality of our country. Because it's not just them not speaking, it's the silence that erodes immorality, that erodes our morality. But only one way to get these big pastors to finally start speaking up is when they start losing members. It's time for you to listen to the Holy Spirit and say, it's time. I'm not going to be complicit to this anymore. I'm going to churches where the pastor has the courage to speak out for the life of unborn children and for traditional marriage. Please, friend, it's time to leave those big churches and send a note to those pastors as to why. They need to know why they're losing people. And then you know what's going to happen? Oh, they're going to wake up and see they have to speak out. And they have to speak on these issues just like pastors like myself have done through these years. Speak by leaving those churches and going to churches that the pastor has courage to speak on the truth.